Welcome to this digital dictation training video, also referred to as Winscribe or WinVoice. This system is used by both clinicians and admin staff to record dictations and type clinical letters for outpatients. This training video is focused solely on use for clinicians, creating dictations and verifying letters to be sent out to the patient. Today, I'm going to show you how to log on to the digital dictation system. The system is accessed by two icons on your desktop, Winscribe Author and WinVoice Documents. You will receive a username and password for these. But as you are logged onto the computer, double-clicking on these icons will launch the system automatically. I am now going to double-click on WinVoice Documents and show you how to access your clinic list. Once the WinVoice Documents control panel opens up, go along to the top toolbars and click on the icon that says Clinic List. The Clinic List search box will appear. You'll notice it's defaulted to today's date. You would need to click in the correct date of the clinic you're looking for. Using either the name of the clinic code or the name of the consultant, you can fill in the boxes. I am just going to enter OPD1 and find my clinic. Click on Search. The box below will then populate the names of anybody who is booked in for that particular clinic on the date you selected. Once those names pop up, you can expand that box and sort the columns by clicking on the headings. You can click to arrange that list via appointment time or patient name, or however you wish to do so. To begin a dictation, you just need to double-click on the particular patient you're looking for. Winscribe Author will open, and the new local job window will appear, pulling through the patient's demographic details. The to box will normally default to the user's assigned department. If the user has got more than one department they are assigned to, this can be changed by clicking on the to if it's not grayed out. Underneath this, we have the job type box. This normally defaults to outpatient letter. However, you can change this by clicking on the job type button. The most commonly used job types are outpatient letter and letter to GP. The priority of the job can be changed as well by clicking on the top here. At the moment it's set to normal. By clicking you can change it to high, or click it again, changing it back to normal. Next, you will notice the patient's details are populated beneath. We have the patient's hospital ID number, name and DOB. Most patients will also have their NHS number, but because this is a test patient, mine will show as blank. Across the bottom we have these tools that can operate our dictation. So we have the option to record, to stop, to play, to rewind and fast forward. This one takes you to the beginning of the recording, and this one takes you to the end. Next, we have a sound bar that moves along as we're recording, and then we have a timer to see how long we've been recording for. You will have access to a digital dictation device. This will likely be a tethered device. You will operate this using the controls on the device. However, you can use the buttons on screen. I am going to press record. You will be able to see the sound bar has moved over, and the timer is ticking. The lights increasing and decreasing indicate the sound of my voice. Always make sure you quote the name of the patient and their hospital ID number, and speak in a clear voice. Once you're happy, press stop, and the recording will cease. Once you've completed your dictation, there are three options. If you are not happy with it, you can click on the delete button, and this will discard the job. There is the option to save. This will save your draft recording to the computer that you're logged onto. You would not be able to access this from other computers, so we do not recommend using the save option. There is the option to send and finish the job. I am going to click on Send Now to confirm that the job is complete, and it will return you back to your clinic diary, where you can then continue dictations with the next patient. I'm going to close this clinic list off now by clicking in the X in the top right-hand corner of my screen. Next, I will minimize my WinVoice documents, and I'm going to open up Winscribe Author. On the home screen, you will be able to view your sent items. For example, the dictation I've just completed is now showing in date order. If you click on any of the headings, you can reorder them. I have clicked on the date created, and you can see the top one here with today's date. It is still marked as waiting for typist. To amend this dictation while it's at the waiting for typist stage, all that is required is a double click on the relevant recording. You will then notice we are back in the recording screen that we previously entered, and I can add to or edit that recording if needed by clicking on the record button. And then once done again, clicks on send and complete the job. Next, we will look at ad hoc recordings. From my Winscribe Author icon, if I did not have a clinic running, or I did not have a clinic list to choose my patients from, I can make an ad hoc dictation. Just by clicking on the new button in the top left corner, it will load the new recording pop-up screen. At this time, there is no patient information shown. You will need to input your patient details. You can either use a scanner and scan the barcode on your patient notes, or, where it states hospital number, if you type in a RXR or Cerner MRN number, and then press Tab, it will bring those patient details through. So, by pressing Tab, it brings through the stored demographic details from Cerner. And then, you would press Record on your handheld device and start recording again. I am going to press record, and you can see that it is starting to recognize my voice and make the recording as before. Next, we will look at a function called insert. In this example, we are wanting to add some information to our previous recording. I click where it says overwrite, and this changes to insert. You will now need to find a start point to input your additional detail within your recording. Find the point and select record. In my example, I have forgotten to quote the patient's MRN number. I scroll back to the beginning of the recording and start recording again. So if I click on stop, you can see that the recording is now inserted and the recording is now slightly longer. Just remember to change back to overwrite if you're wanting to change functions. In this next example, we are wanting to record over the previous recording. Make sure it's on overwrite, press record, and it would then copy over everything you have already done. To summarize, insert to add to the recording or overwrite to record over your previous entry. I will now click back into WinVoice documents, as I am now going to show you how to verify your letters. So the WinVoice documents control panel reappears. I am going to expand that so we can see it better. And you can see down the left-hand side, there is a verification inbox with different functions. We can see awaiting verification, awaiting changes, and with other author. I am going to click on the awaiting verification tab, which is the window that we can see at the moment. I'm going to show you two different ways of verifying a document. You can either single verify by double-clicking on the patient. This will load a single document. Or there's the option at the top to bulk verify. Let's select bulk verify. When selecting this icon, it will load the first letter on your list of letters, and you will notice that your remaining letters will appear on the right side of the screen. And then you can work through them. WinVoice Documents works with Microsoft Word, so letters will take a second or two to load. Because I have quite a few letters to verify, this will take a bit longer to load than a single letter. You can read through a particular letter, and then over on our right-hand side of the screen, as mentioned previously, we have the other letters that are waiting there to be verified. You can select one of these if you wish. In terms of verifying the letters, there are 3 options. The first one is Verify Now. This means that no changes are required. It marks the letter as completed and verified, making it ready for printing. The next one is Verify with Changes. You select this when changes have been made to the letter by the author. You can edit the word document and change the letter as required and complete the job yourself. The next one is Send for Corrections. This may be done if you need to change something that is part of the template, like the address, for example. A note can be inserted for the typist if they need to update the template. Again, this will be something that you cannot change yourself. There is also the option to view or edit the distribution list that has already been filled out on the template by the typist. Clicking Distribution. You have the option to add or delete people on that list by searching for them. Once done, click Update Document and the Word document will update as required. The next one we have is Verify Later. This closes the letter and moves us on to the next one in the queue. I am just going to click on Verify Now for this example. And it will now send this letter to the secretary to say that it's been verified because we are using the Bulk Verify tool. It will now move us on to the next letter in our queue. If I did not want to do this next letter now, just click on the X in the top right-hand corner. It will confirm that I do not want to make any changes to that one, and it will close it down and take me back to Winscribe Documents or Winscribe Author as required. When the letters have been typed and verified, there are a couple of options that you can use to search for patient letters. The first one is the Search button, which will search for all letters within your department. The second one, the Advanced Search. This will search for all letters within the trust. We'll select that. You need to enter the patient's MRN number. You can also search by the NHS number or patient name, click on Search, and it will bring up all letters relevant to that particular patient. To view the letters, just double-click on them, and it will open up the Word document for you to read. Once you're happy, there is a blue Exit button. Clicking on that, it will close that search engine down. Thank you for watching this e-learning video. Further EPR videos are available on our YouTube channel, ELHT Cerner Millennium EPR e-learning videos.